live is going to be about Facebook ads versus YouTube ads. Now, this is pretty cool because we've been running Facebook ads for, I would say, about 11 years now. And what I wanted to mention was that with Facebook ads, you're able to basically get into people's news feeds and get into, their experience on social media. And I know it's not really that cool to do, but you're going to interrupt their experience and show your ad. Okay, so that's why it's very important to have your videos very much according to their interests. Okay, now remember that you're interrupting at that point, right? So, and I use that word interrupting is to give you the context of this video, is that on YouTube, you're not, you're interrupting as well, but you're not as invasive, but you're kind of in front of whatever they're searching or whatever content they're watching, and then you're interrupted as well into their experience. Okay, so now let's look at the difference between the two interruptions. You've got one interruption on social media, which is basically getting you to, it's basically putting you in a position where you're interrupting their social media experience and communicating with their friends. And then on the other hand, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it. You're on YouTube, you're watching your favorite video, or you're watching a new video, or you've searched for this video and you want information on something, right? So you go in and you're looking at this video, whether it's entertainment or educational or whatever the aspect is. It could be funny, what doesn't matter. But the point is that you are also going to be interrupted, but you're going to have 5 seconds to click on it to skip the ad, okay? So you really got that 5 seconds to really throw that hook out there and hope that they watch the rest of the video. So that's what they call, an interruption, a video interruption, in your advertising, in your advertising goals into their social media experience, right? So now let's look at the difference between the two. Which one is more of an interruption? Well, it depends, because on Facebook, you can interrupt them in their experience, but you can also make it very educational or funny or whatever it is, and also make it pleasing for them that, hey, they don't mind looking at your advertisement because it's not as invasive. Or you can also set the frequency so that the same person is not shown the same ad more than, let's say, 3 times in a week or something like that, right? You can set these settings on your own, right? It's not hard to do. But now when you talk about YouTube ads, you can set up these ads and you can start with a very low budget, just like Facebook. And what you can do is set up the experience so that it's only shown a certain number of times as well. However, YouTube does a very good job, and so does Facebook, at not, upsetting people with too much ads. If they don't engage with them, if they don't watch a certain amount of the video, they may not show the ad against them. If they don't engage with the video or they don't pause on it to watch it, for a certain length of time, they may not show again, right? So when it comes down to the main difference, which is better, it totally depends on you, right? Like I've heard from people that, and a lot of marketers tell me that with YouTube ads, you can scale up, to like 1,000 a day, and from 500 to 1,000. Like you can start as like maybe $5 or $10, and then get to 50, and then get to 100, and you don't really see much difference. Like you still are able to, scale it up pretty stable and make sure your conversion costs for leads and everything is pretty much the same. Now with Facebook, I hear that the opposite, that when you start scaling up, you pay more, but you end up, your conversion costs also rise, which make it not profitable to scale your campaigns. But now an interesting point came up in one of my meetings with a very, amazing marketer named Brian Mercado, who I met through Funk Roberts, and he told me straight up, he goes, well, we had this tennis player, and he was teaching people how to, do this certain part of a certain technique in tennis. So it was not only a niche that it was a tennis player, it was a niche of a niche. So it was the niche tennis player, and then the tennis player needed to, find those people that just wanted to perfect this one move, and then his point was to teach that one move to them, right? So he was able to do very well in the campaigns at a smaller level, but then when he was scaling broad and trying to bring it vertical, then what happened is that it was difficult for him to capture that same message and maintain that same message all throughout, the audience expansion, right? So now you want to look at it, for a lot of you guys running your businesses, you're okay with just slow and steady. No, maybe not slow and steady, but slow and moderate, and keeping it going. So for a small business owner, it doesn't really matter because you have your organic marketing going, You've got also your, your ads going maybe at a small budget, and it's maintaining new people coming in. It's keeping that flow, building that steady, slow momentum, and that's fine. But where it does come in is like if you're going to be using Facebook budget versus YouTube budget, you're going to have to understand that it's a very, very different experience, right? And it's a different experience for you as an advertiser as well, or you as a business owner, is that if you want to get e-commerce sales or you want to get leads on YouTube, you're going to have to be very, very careful and very specific to that, your ads match that audience that you're hitting locally, right? And even some say, oh, well, YouTube ads are great for branding. Well, okay, that's great. YouTube ads are great for branding. But the thing is, who are you branding your brand in front of? Are you branding it to the wrong people? Because you'll find that your ads are hitting videos that have absolutely nothing to do with your target audience. And I've seen that many times. And then people just say, forget it. I don't want to use YouTube because YouTube is just, and they label it, it's just for branding. But with any ad platform, you are going to notice that with experience comes knowledge, and with knowledge and experience comes, tactics, comes common practices, things that make it work, And it always comes down to, if you talk about your business, if you talk to a lot of these consultants these days, the good ones will ask you a lot of specifics about about your product, your service, about your message, about all these things, and then they'll go to the platform, Facebook or YouTube or Google or now TikTok or Instagram, anything, and they'll say, okay, are all my customers on a platform? It doesn't work that way. There are people on YouTube, there are people on Facebook, there are people on TikTok. Now we can say, okay, well, there's age group 12 to 17 is on TikTok. Let's just say, and that's not true. I'm just telling you, right? You're getting a lot of older people now too. Now, and then you say, okay, all the older people are on Facebook. Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. We got that. But now we got to drill down to, does your product only match ages? Ages, like when you think of data, age groups and stuff is a thing of the past. You're not targeting marketing and advertising on age groups anymore. There is so much content out there right now that your targeting and your specific ads and whatever you're paying for them is going to matter about where your audience is and which segment of that audience on that platform that you are wanting to target. Okay, like my son and I today, we were going through our YouTube's channel right now, and we were going through, for example, our channel is very small, so we said let's do some ads, and we're running some ads, and we're seeing that we're serving our ads to people that want to create Facebook ads, and we're basically really drilling down to a really, really small niche audience, and those videos we're choosing to show our ads on are people that create Facebook ads, right? So it's more direct. And then now we go back to the creative. What video ads are we going to put in front of them? So I had to shoot another video just today, just saying, talking specifically about that search on Facebook to that audience, right? So that now everything matches. And then I had to go to a call my developers and say, hey guys, we got to change the way the landing pages work, right? The sequence has to be different for them to sign up. So there's a lot of aspects here to think about when you say, oh, generally Facebook ads or YouTube ads, what do you prefer? Well, yeah, here we go. Okay, some people say Facebook, some people say YouTube, but we don't know why they say that. Okay, so I'm not going to say one's better or one's worse. I'm just going to say that you guys have to see for yourself by trying it. But one thing I do want to say is you definitely should use both. Definitely. I mean, it might come down to someone telling you, well, in my experience for my business, like Funk Roberts tells me, he goes, for me, I don't like Facebook as much. Like I like it, but I like it for leads, and I like YouTube for, because I get a lot of men signing up, and it's working out well for me. And that's his experience. Yeah, that's fine, right? And I heard from him, and he taught me, and I said, you know what? That got me onto the YouTube. I said, let me dig into a little deeper into this. But then there's some people that say Facebook, no YouTube for me, right? And it's totally up to you. You've got to look through it and see. I mean, if someone's a YouTuber already, maybe they do better on YouTube. If somebody's more on Facebook, maybe they do better on Facebook. There's a lot of factors, right? Anyways, I wish you guys all the best. As always, we're here if you need anything, and reach out, and if you have any questions. All right. Have a great day.